Hey everyone, I'm the Recap Master. Today, I'll be recapping and explaining the 2023 American thriller Strange Darling. Sit back, relax, and beware. Spoilers ahead. The film unfolds across 6 chapters, presented in a gripping, nonlinear sequence. Opening text says that between 2018 and 2020, a relentless serial killer embarked on a chilling, multi-state spree, starting in Denver and stretching to Oregon. This film is a gripping dramatization of that harrowing story. Chapter 3, Can You Help Me, Please? The story begins in Oregon, where a young blonde woman known only as the Lady is being relentlessly hunted by a serial killer called the Demon. Driving a pickup truck, he pursues her, firing a rifle that shatters her car and forces her to flee into the woods. Wounded, her ear grazed by a bullet, she stumbles upon a small forest tent where she finds alcohol. She uses it to tend to her injury before continuing to evade her predator. The demon stalks her through the dense wilderness, but she pushes forward, crossing the jungle and emerging onto a vast grassland. Exhausted and desperate, she finally finds a house. Knocking on the door, she pleads with its elderly occupants, Frederick and Genevieve. Can you help me, please? Chapter 5, Here, Kitty, Kitty. Huddled inside a freezer, the Lady holds her breath as she hears the haunting call, Here, Kitty, Kitty. The demon prowls through the couple's home, searching for her with chilling precision, room by room, and fires his rifle at different chests and gets frustrated when she is not found. Reaching the kitchen, he finds Frederick's lifeless body, but Genevieve is missing. His hunt brings him to the freezer. A single shot pierces its surface, and the Lady's terrified screams betray her hiding place, setting the stage for her nightmare to escalate. Chapter 1, Mr. Snuffles. The film rewinds to the fateful beginning of the Lady and the Demon's encounter. Following a casual date, the pair heads to a motel for a one-night stand. They decide about how to proceed, but the Lady asks him to perform violent BDSM play, urging him to push the limits even if she is visibly scared and says no, insisting he only stop when she uses the safe word, Mr. Snuffleupagus. Parked outside the motel, they share an unsettling conversation. The Lady candidly reflects on the risks women face in such encounters and even questions whether the demon is a serial killer. He laughs off the suggestion, denying it outright. Their dark chemistry intensifies as they share beer, cigarettes, and a fleeting sense of trust, one that is destined to shatter. The Lady and the Demon take their encounter to the motel room, where we see that she has red hair instead of the blonde which was shown earlier. She directs him to tie her to the bed and choke her harder, seeking to push the boundaries of control each time his grip intensifies. But when he attempts to escalate to sex, she halts him, saying it's not working and that she may not want it with him. Frustrated, the Demon turns the game against her. Aggressively restraining her again, he slaps her and takes on the dominant role, spewing vile threats of violent acts. As her tears fall, she utters the safe word, Mr. Snuffleupagus. He freezes, apologetic, fearing he's gone too far, until the Lady bursts into laughter, revealing she loved it and praising his intensity. Just as they're about to continue, her demeanor shifts. Staring at the Demon, her expression twists into disbelief. Chapter 4, The Mountain People. Frederick and Genevieve are introduced in a moment of quiet bliss, enjoying a warm breakfast in their remote home. Their peace is shattered when the Lady frantically bangs on their door, pleading for help. They bandage her wounded ear and offer her food. While Genevieve fetches medicine from the bathroom, Frederick tries to call the police, reassuring the Lady they're not like the mountain people and they don't keep guns. Panicked, the Lady begs him not to make the call or else he will regret it. Moments later, a violent commotion erupts. Genevieve rushes to the kitchen to find Frederick lying on the floor, stabbed in the chest and beaten with the phone. As Frederick dies, the Lady forces Genevieve to hand over supplies. Genevieve tells the Lady that they are doomsday preppers and have some supplies outside at the storm shelter. As they go outside towards the storm shelter, the Demon arrives at the house. Genevieve flees into the woods while the Lady senses his presence. Grabbing the couple's bear spray, she hides herself in the freezer, bracing for what's to come. Chapter 2, Do You Like to Party? Back in the motel room, the scene resumes where Chapter 1 left off. The lady stares at the demon's face, her expression a mix of disbelief and regret. Confused, he asks why she's looking at him like that. She breaks into a playful smile, replying that she's just admiring him. Calling him so handsome it shocks me, she marvels aloud, wondering how she got so lucky tonight. The lady pulls out a bag of cocaine, enticing the demon to join her. He hesitates, but she insists, claiming drugs make her horny and that it's her birthday. Reluctantly, he agrees, though his suspicion grows. As they snort the powder and begin making out, the lady suddenly stops, slipping on her shoes and casually admitting she lied about the cocaine's effect. Frustrated, the demon decides he's done and prepares to leave. Meanwhile, the lady steps into the bathroom, retrieving her knife and a taser from her bag. Moments later, the demon is found motionless on the floor of the motel lobby. She drags him back to the bed, where he fades in and out of consciousness, foaming at the mouth. Standing over him, the lady reveals her deception. While she took the cocaine herself, she switched his dose with ketamine, making him almost paralyzed. As he lies helpless, she stuffs his mouth with his own socks and carves "Yell" into his chest with her knife, exposing herself as the notorious serial killer known as the Electric Lady. Rifling through his belongings, she discovers his badge, revealing that he is a cop. Before she can deliver the fatal blow, the demon musters the strength to grab his gun, firing a shot that blows off the lady's ear. Injured and stunned, she flees the room, leaving chaos in her wake. The lady runs, barely escaping, and stumbles into a nearby motel. Breathless, she pleads, "Can you help me, please?" Meanwhile, the demon slowly stirs, regaining his strength and consciousness. At the other motel, the clerk, Libby, locks the main door as the lady insists she's being chased. When Libby orders her assistant, Tanya, to call the police, the lady strikes swiftly, stabbing Libby in the neck. With cold authority, she demands Tanya to hand over her clothes and car keys. She drives off in that car. This leads to the pursuit which was shown earlier in Chapter 3. Chapter 6, Who's Gary Gilmore? The lady lies unconscious, her face bruised from a punch. The demon stands over her, gun aimed but unable to pull the trigger. Instead, he calls his friend Pete, identifying himself as RC, and requests backup. He then handcuffs the lady to the freezer. When the lady regains consciousness, she opens up, revealing her twisted motivations. She confesses she's been inspired by the notorious killer Gary Gilmore, hoping to die like him in front of a firing squad. In a tearful moment, she admits that during their brief encounter, she began to feel love for the demon. Then, with chilling precision, the lady pulls out the bear spray and blinds the demon. As he stumbles, she sinks her teeth into his neck, tearing into his flesh, ripping out his jugular, and watching him bleed to death. In a manic, psychotic moment, she pauses and sits down, staring at dying the demon with extreme remorse. She is overwhelmed with a sense of ill fate and deep regret over his death. Moments later, the lady springs out of the freezer, seizing the demon's gun from his leg. Just then, Pete and Gail, the demon's cop friends, arrive on the scene. The lady begins to weave her tale of victimhood. Seeing her half naked, Gail tries to offer help, but Pete is already wary of her motives. Undeterred, Gail frees the lady, insisting she be taken to a medical facility. Pete argues, deeming it a homicide scene, insisting they call in the homicide squad first, uncertain if the lady is truly the victim. In a desperate move, the lady feigns a seizure, throwing herself into a fake convulsion. Forced into action by Gail's insistence, Pete reluctantly agrees to take her to the hospital. As they drive, the cops encounter Genevieve, pleading for help. Before she can identify the lady in the back seat, the lady swiftly shoots her in the head. With cold authority, she orders Pete and Gail to surrender their guns. Gail, still holding on to hope, pleads for the lady to turn herself in. The lady silences Gail, revealing her identity as the Electric Lady. But in an unexpected twist of twisted gratitude for Gail's earlier assistance, she orders her to leave the car. She then directs Pete to continue driving as the chaos deepens around them. Epilogue. Pete pulls over on a quiet, desolate road at the lady's command. He questions her, why does she kill? The lady responds cryptically, saying that sometimes she doesn't see humans, but instead, she sees devils. Just like with the demon, she gets another flash, and she sees the devil again. In a swift, fatal motion, the lady kills Pete. Afterward, she calmly exits the car. The lady flags down another passing driver, attempting to pull her victim act once more, asking the same desperate question, "Can you help me, please?" The driver lets her in, starting to make a call for help. But as the lady gazes into the rearview mirror, another flash of the devil appears, this time causing a tearful expression to cross her face. For the first time, she seems overwhelmed with regret and helplessness. As she reaches for her gun, the driver, sensing the danger, shoots first. In the moments that follow, the driver calls 911, claiming that she shot someone in self-defense and is bringing her in. The car moves forward, but the lady feels her consciousness slipping away, her body succumbing to the pain. The lady's flashes of the devil, the haunting visions that drove her to commit regretful murders, finally cease. Her killing spree ends as the final flash fades away. She draws one final, bittersweet breath, the weight of her actions lingering in the air. Then, with a quiet exhale, she slips away. The lady is finally free. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it entertaining, don't forget to like, share, and comment. Your support means the world to me. For more such videos, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Until next time, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.